Sampurita pamita paramita balena Vidvansiyo kila kilesam Samohajalang Teneva Landa araham arahoti namang Vandami buddha mamalang Hadayeta pentwa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Homage to the exalted one, the worthy one, the supremely enlightened one. Three refuge, Sarana. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. I go to the Buddha for refuge. I go to the Dhamma for refuge. I go to the Sangha for refuge. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. A second time, I go to the Buddha for refuge. A second time, I go to the Dhamma for refuge. A second time, I go to the Sangha for refuge. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. A third time, I go to the Buddha for refuge. A third time, I go to the Dhamma for refuge. A third time, I go to the Sangha for refuge. 5 precepts, Panchasila. Pānātipātā Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyāmi. Adinādāna Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyāmi. Kāmesu micchācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Surameraya Majjapama Dattana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. I undertake the training rule to abstain from taking life. I undertake the training rule to abstain from stealing. I undertake the training rule to abstain from sexual misconduct. I undertake the training rule to abstain from false speech. I undertake the training rule to abstain from intoxicating drinks and drugs causing heedlessness. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good morning to everyone. All of you are warmly welcome to the Metta Day meditation program and Dhamma program. First of all, we are going to pay our homage to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. At the same time, we are going to offer these items, flowers, drinks, candles, incense, and all items to the Supreme Buddha, contemplating on the qualities of the Exalted One. We are together listening and reciting the gathas. Namo Tansa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tansa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tansa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vidyacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Santa Deva Manussanam Buddho Bhagavati. Buddhang Jivita Pariyantang Saranam Gancchami. Vandami Chetiyang Sambang Sambatthane Supatithitam. Saririka dhatu mahabodhing buddharupang sakalang sadam. Adhivase tuno bhante sambang sandhaya pujitam. Anukampannupadaya patiganhatu muntame. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pantiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear friends in Dhamma, we are going to start our Dhamma program. First of all, we are going to discuss the Buddha's message. Then, little by little, we are going to practice some meditation techniques in Buddhism. The Supreme Buddha says very clearly, Janato aham bhikkhave passato asvanang kayang vadami no ajanato no apassato. Buddha says, I proclaim the liberation for those who know the path, who see the path. This is a very special statement that Buddha has said. First of all, we should have clear understanding what we practice, where we are going to. It is very important to understand the Sammaditthi or right understanding. Through listening to Dhamma with the association of good friendship, we have a chance to listen to what the Buddha taught. The Buddha's message entirely can be included into one sentence, Sachitta Paryodapanam. Buddha says, purifying one's mind. This is the Buddha's message. By listening to Dhamma, by practicing Dhamma, by practicing meditation, little by little we purify our mind. Here we should understand what are the negative thoughts, unwholesome mental states that disturb our peace of mind. There are 3 negative thoughts that disturb our peace of mind. They are greed, anger, and delusion. Everyone likes to become happiness. Happiness completely depends on the purification of one's mind. When our mind is polluted with negative thoughts, actually we have no real happiness. That is why little by little we should cleanse our mind from negative thoughts. The more we purify our mind from negative thoughts, the more we overcome negative emotions, the more we purify our mind, the more we are happy. Our happiness, the main purpose of everyone, completely depends on purifying our mind. In this situation, when we listen to Buddha's message, our right understanding, Sammaditthi, little by little increases. The first understanding that we receive through having Sammaditthi, right understanding, we have an understanding about the karmic law. Whatever we do with intention, physically, verbally, or mentally, according to our intention, we will have the results. When our mind is polluted, then results are evil or negative. When our mind is pure, the results are fruitful. When we have this understanding, we always try to overcome negative thoughts from our mind. That is the very first advice of the all Buddhas who appear in this world. Sabba papa sakaranam. Not to do any evil, physically or verbally. And the next thing is, not only we should overcome negative thoughts, negative deeds, evil deeds, but we should do good deeds. Kusalasa upasampada, practicing good deeds, doing good deeds. Here Buddha pointed out the 3 meritorious deeds, Dana, Sila, and Bhavana. Dana means generosity, offering something to others. Sila means virtue or moral conduct, discipline our speech and behavior. And Bhavana, meditation, mental culture. We can practice generosity in various ways, as material offerings, giving fearlessness or lives, and giving Dhamma. Among these 3 offerings, Buddha emphasized the importance of giving Dhamma. Sabbadhanam Dhammadhanam jinati. The gift of Dhamma excels all other gifts. That is the thing that you are giving here. You can be happy. Okay, you are giving the Dhammadhana to everyone who are your friends and relatives. And here, when we practice Dana, little by little we can overcome greed or attachment. We can purify our mind from greed or attachment. We can see the results that Buddha says, Piti mudarang vindati data. He who practices generosity has a lot of happiness. He gains a lot of happiness as the result of practicing generosity. That is the very first step. Not only that, but he who practices generosity wins a lot of friends. Dadang mittani gantati. Practicing generosity is one of the ways that we can win our friends and relatives. Then we go to the next level, sila or moral conduct, virtue. discipline in our speech and behavior. Especially we practice 5 precepts. When we practice 5 precepts, we can see more results in our life. The reason is that when we do something, when we speak something, when we think again and again whether it is correct, we speak and behave mindfully, then we have no mistakes, we have no regrets in our life. Especially the 5 precepts is highly appreciated in Buddhism. Abstaining from taking life, abstaining from stealing, abstaining from sexual misconduct, abstaining from false speech and intoxicating drinks and drugs. If we are able to overcome these negative activities from our life, then we can see more results. Then we have confidence and also we are happy. We can go to any society without fear because we are correct. We have no mistakes. Finally, we develop this quality to the maximum level. According to Karani Metta Sutta, the discourse of Metta Buddha says, we should not do any slight foreign conduct which is criticized by the wise. Nacha Buddhan Samakare Kinchi Yena Vinyo Pare Upadiyum. This is the highest morality or discipline what the Buddha explained. Then we go to the next level, meditation. Meditation means mental culture, purifying one's mind. In this level, in the mundane level, especially we purify our mind from greed and anger. These are the main unwholesome mental states that disturb our peace of mind. By practicing generosity and by practicing moral conduct, especially by practicing loving kindness meditation, we overcome these negative thoughts from our mind. Buddha says there are 40 meditation techniques that we can practice to purify our mind in the mundane level as Samatha Bhavana. Buddhism explains 2 meditation techniques, Samatha Bhavana and Vipassana Bhavana. Samatha Bhavana means concentration meditation, keeping our attention in a particular moment with a positive thought and concentrating our mind. And the next one is Vipassana Bhavana, reflecting on impermanence. In this level, in the primary level, in the mundane level, Buddha explains the importance of practicing Samatha Bhavana. As you are interested, you can practice Buddhanussati Bhavana, Asubha Bhavana, Marananussati Bhavana, Anapanasati, and especially in this level, practicing Metta Bhavana is highly appreciated by the Blessed One. Why is that? By practicing Metta Bhavana, contemplating on may all beings be well, happy and peaceful, then we can overcome anger or ill will little by little. Anger is one of the main reasons that disturb our peace of mind. In the society, many people who have stress, actually they are angry. That is the reason they are ill. Even though physically they are healthy, actually mentally they are ill. Buddha says how we overcome this mental illness, anger, by practicing Metta Bhavana, contemplating on may all beings be well, happy and peaceful again and again. We are able to overcome ill will or anger. Then actually we can increase our real happiness. We can gain spiritual happiness by practicing Metta Bhavana. Not only we are able to overcome anger, Buddha says very clearly, practicing Metta Bhavana is the highest meritorious deed in the mundane level. If we can practice Metta Bhavana, we can generate our positive thoughts a lot, because this is the highest meditation and meritorious technique in Buddhism in the worldly condition. When we practice loving kindness meditation, we are able to overcome hindrances. The Supreme Buddha has explained 5 hindrances, Pancha Nivarana, that cover our happiness or Nibbana or enlightenment. They are Kama Chanda, sensual pleasure, Vyapada, ill will, Thena Midda, sloth and torpor, Uddhacha Kukucha, restlessness and worry, and Vichikicha, skeptical doubts. When we practice a concentration meditation technique, actually we are so fortunate. Little by little, we are able to overcome these 5 hindrances from our mind. Then we can live like a Brahma being, like the Brahma realm. Buddha explained the way while we are spending a human life physically, we can live like Brahma beings in the Brahma realm. This is the way. By practicing Samatha Bhavana and reducing 5 hindrances, we can keep our mind in the highest level in the Brahma realm. First of all, we are going to practice loving kindness meditation, and the next part we are going to discuss the second stage of right understanding or Sammaditthi. And also, first of all, you can imagine one of the offerings or charities that you have already practiced as Chaganusati Bhavana. I think all of you usually practice generosity or dana. At this moment, you can imagine, you can think a meritorious deed that you have practiced as dana or generosity. Then your mind is so pure and calm. And also you can imagine, you can remind, you can think about your sila or virtue, discipline in your speech and behavior. That is also one of the meditation techniques that Buddha says, Sila Anusati Bhavana. You can think, you practice 5 precepts at this moment. Your behavior and speech are correct. You have discipline, you have moral conduct. And also you think, you can think now the Supreme Buddha, the Exalted One, he who developed his mind to the maximum level with compassion and wisdom. When we think about the Buddha, actually our mind is so pure and calm. Our mind is so pure, so calm, so happy. Then we think that Buddha is near us. We can live near the Supreme Buddha whenever we contemplate on the qualities of the Supreme Buddha. Buddha is say that Araham Samma Sambuddho Vijjacharana Sampanno Sugato, like that. We can contemplate on these qualities of the Buddha, then we can purify and concentrate our mind at the present moment. Not only that, we here especially practice loving kindness meditation because your program's name is Metta Day Program. Metta means loving kindness meditation, contemplating on may all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Dear friends in Dhamma, now you can participate to the sitting meditation program. Here we are going to practice Metta Bhavana. Okay, please prepare your body for meditation. Relax your body, please. And keep your right hand on the left hand. Close your eyes gently. Please be aware of your body posture, that you are sitting here from your legs to head. Now you feel that you are breathing in and out, and also you can keep your attention around the nose or upper lip. Now I keep my full attention in the present moment. I am going to spread loving kindness thoughts to everyone, those who are in this world. May all beings at this home be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings at this home be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings at this home be well, happy and peaceful. May they attain the final bliss of liberation. May all beings in the east direction be well, happy and peaceful. May they attain the final bliss of liberation. May all beings in the north direction be well, happy and peaceful. May they attain the final bliss of liberation. May all beings in the west direction be well, happy and peaceful. May they attain the final bliss of liberation. May all beings in the south direction be well, happy and peaceful. May they attain the final bliss of liberation. May all beings in the upper direction be well, happy and peaceful. May they attain the final bliss of liberation. May all beings in the down direction be well, happy and peaceful. May they attain the final bliss of liberation. May all beings in this world be well, happy and peaceful. May they attain the final bliss of liberation. I spread loving kindness thoughts to everyone, those who are in this world. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they attain the final bliss of liberation. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. I see the all over the world like my family, like my children. I am friendly with everyone in this universe. I spread loving kindness thoughts to everyone, those who are suffering in this world. I have a very pure heart with loving kindness thoughts. When I meet a person, I think that person like my only son or daughter. Every moment, everywhere, every posture, I practice loving kindness meditation to everyone. When I stand, when I walk, when I sit, when I lay, wherever I am in, I practice loving kindness thoughts to everyone. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. When I stand, when I walk, when I sit, when I lay, wherever I am in, whatever I do, I practice loving kindness meditation. I spread loving kindness thoughts to everyone, those who are in this universe. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Dukkam pantaca niddukkam Bhayam pantaca nibbhayam Sokam pantaca nissokam Untu sabde pipanino. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May they attain the final bliss of liberation, the everlasting happiness, Nibbana, enlightenment. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear friends in Dhamma, the Blessed One says the results of practicing loving kindness meditation. He who practices loving kindness thoughts continuously, regularly, and he is dear to humans, and he is dear to non-humans too. He is protected by the Devas, the guardian deities. He can concentrate his mind quickly, and also he sleeps happily. He wakes up happily, dreams no evil dreams. Neither fire nor poison can touch him, and also he dies unconfused. If he is unable to attain enlightenment in this life, he is headed for the Brahma realm. Buddha says, when we practice loving kindness meditation, we don't stop in loving kindness. We go forward on the path of heaven. We have compassion. When others are suffering, we have warm hearts. And also we have sympathetic joy, mudita, when other people are successful. When they are happy, we also happy. We share their happiness. Not only that, when we see the world conditions, karmic law, we become equanimity. We make a balanced mind. These four things, metta, karuna, mudita, upekha, loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, are the four sublime states. These are the things that the Brahmas are dwelling with. If we can practice loving kindness thoughts and live with these four things, it means we are also like Brahma beings in the human realm. This is the path that we can see the beauty of our life as Brahmas having human life in this Buddha Sasana. And also Buddha explains, when we practice loving kindness meditation thoughts, it helps us to reduce our negative results of our previous actions. This is the highest way. Not only that, when our mind is pure and calm, we are strong with spirituality. Then we can transfer the merits to our relatives and friends. We can share these merits with our departed relatives, friends, and devas. This is also one of the benefits. And also, we can see the beauty of our life. Whenever our mind is polluted with anger, actually we have no real happiness. The more we practice loving kindness meditation, the more we overcome anger or ill will. The more we overcome anger, the more we feel happy. Happiness is the main purpose of everyone. In this situation, Buddha explains the way Yantan santam padang abhisamecca sabbe sattha bhavantu sukhitattha. He who wishes to attain the peace of mind should practice loving kindness meditation. The liberation path leads on this path practicing metta bhavana. Here in the first session, we hope to discuss the three meritorious deeds. With the understanding of the karmic law, we are successful in the mundane level, in the worldly condition. Not only that, Buddha explains the way how we overcome the samsaric circle. Even though we can overcome greed and anger in this mundane level by practicing samatha bhavana, still we are in ignorance or delusion. The main purpose of appearing a Buddha in this world is to point out the way how we overcome ignorance or delusion and how we overcome the samsaric circle completely. This is the main advice of the Supreme Buddha. Here we should understand the second level of Sammaditthi, the Paticca Here, I think sometimes you have heard about the dependent origination or ignorance. Here we are going to understand the thing that causes us to live in this samsaric circle. When we think something, we always imagine some form. That is the nature of our mind. But we should understand, when we see something, when we hear something, when we smell something, at the beginning we can reach the forms, but it is very instant. When we understand the forms, or smell, or taste, or sounds, actually the very first experience has already ceased. But we are ignorant. We don't understand this situation. We think still that form is happening. That is why suddenly our mind is fixed in material things. But the reality is completely different. Now, at this moment, you are looking at me. You think that you are seeing this person at the moment. Actually, your eye contact is present moment. Your eye consciousness also the present moment. But the Buddha says, Na panchahi vinyanehi kenachi dhamma pativijanati anyatra abhinipata matta. By 5 consciousnesses, we are unable to recognize anything. When we recognize something, when we understand something, our eye forms, eye contact, eye consciousness, all of them have ceased. When we recognize something, we understand it not through our eye consciousness, but through our mind consciousness. This is the reality. If we have this understanding, as soon as we experience something through our 5 senses, suddenly we look at inside. Ordinary people always look at outside, but we, the Buddha's disciples, who know the Dhamma, we suddenly look at inside. What happens to my mind? When we look at something, when we understand something, if we can think that now I understand these forms through my mind consciousness and the first experience has already ceased, then we are wise, we are mindful, we are in mindfulness and wisdom, then outside persons and things are unable to disturb our peace of mind because we depend on inside. We don't depend on outside. Whenever we depend on inside, it means vipassana bhavana. Insight means vipassana bhavana, reflecting on impermanence. Our success depends on reducing greed and anger. Reducing greed and anger depends on reducing ignorance or delusion. Reducing ignorance depends on reflecting on impermanence, reflecting on insight meditation. If you can see this reality, and also if you can live in mindfulness, at the moment you are look at inside, that mind also impermanent. Sometimes you may think that outside things are impermanent, but my mind is permanent. Actually, our mind, our present consciousness also impermanent. It arises and ceases at the moment. The present thought not being occurred comes to occurrence, being occurred will not go to occurrence. Ahutva sambhutang hutvana bhavisati. This is the reality. In the primary level, when we are going to overcome greed and anger, we practice generosity, we practice morality, and we practice loving kindness meditation. Actually, those are the primary meditation techniques. Those are the primary techniques that we use to overcome our greed and anger, but we are unable to completely overcome these unwholesome mental roots in the mundane level. That is only a very short time technique solution. When we are go to the deeper level, we live in mindfulness and wisdom, reflecting on impermanence. And here, it is very important to understand the Four Noble Truths. Understanding the Four Noble Truths, dependent origination, 5 aggregates, and fourfold mindfulnesses, they are together. These four things are very important. What they are? Four Noble Truths, the dependent origination, five aggregates, and mindfulness with details, the fourfold mindfulnesses. These four things are interrelated. The more we understand Four Noble Truths, the more we understand the dependent origination. The more we understand both of them, the more we understand the path that leads to getting rid of suffering, the Four Noble Truths. Buddha says, Ekayano ayam bhikkhave maggo satthanam visuddhya. This is only path for the purification of beings, which is mindfulness. Soka pariddavanam samatikkamaya. Practicing mindfulness is the only way for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, grief and pain. This is only path for the gaining knowledge, attaining enlightenment. But at the beginning, we should have very clear understanding what we practice, where we are going to. That is why always the Supreme Buddha emphasized the importance of right understanding, vision. Vision is first. Mission also important, but vision should be first. Vision without mission is useless. Mission without vision is blind. In this situation, Buddha says, Samma Ditti Pure Javam. Right understanding is first. When we have right understanding, then little by little we go forward on the path of purification of our mind. Then we protect our mind, we cleanse our mind, we develop our mind, and we get rid of suffering. This is the path that Buddha has explained. For that, little by little we should go forward. The Buddha's message is like the ocean. The ocean deepens gradually from the beach to the deeper water. Buddha's message also like that. At the beginning we practice generosity, dana, offering something to others, because if we are greedy, we are unable to listen to Dhamma. We don't meet Kalyana Mitra, good friends, if we are so greedy. That is why first of all we should be generous. The next level, we should have moral conduct, discipline. If we have misbehaviors, then our good friends go away. They don't help us. That is why our behavior and speech should be correct, should be clear. And also, we should have metta thoughts, loving kindness thoughts. Then we are dear to humans and non-humans, and also devata rakhanti. We are protected by the guardian deities. By acquiring positive thoughts, we can see some visible results in this life. What are the visible results that we receive throughout practicing three meritorious deeds? Longevity, good complexion, health. These are the results, benefits that we receive throughout practicing good deeds. Not only that, we receive very special benefit, result by practicing these merits. What is that? Having good friends. We meet the noble association. This is the highest benefit that we receive when we have a generous mind, when we have a meritorious mind. On the other side, Buddha says, practicing merits is like decorating our mind. That is food for our mind. That is the way how we give the gifts to our mind. Chitta lankaram, chitta parikaram. Practicing meritorious deeds is like the gifts to our mind. And that's the way how we decorate our mind. By acquiring positive thoughts, Little by little we go forward, then we meet good friends. Not only that, we should associate with them, and also very special thing, we should pay our attention to what they say. Buddha says 3 stages of good association: Kalyana Mittata, Kalyana Sahayata, Kalyana Sampavankata. We should have good friends. Not only we should make good friends. We should associate with them. Not only that, we should discuss with them about the Dhamma. Then we receive the Dhamma from our good friends. And also, then we can cleanse the path that we should go forward on the liberation, enlightenment. Okay, dear friends, now we are going to end the first session. Then you have a short break for 15 minutes until 8:45. Then we meet and discuss the main topic in Buddhism, that Four Noble Truths. After that, we are going to practice mindfulness too. Then little by little, we can understand and practice what the Buddha taught. For that, I wish you all the best, dear friends in Dhamma. Now you can take a short break until 8:45. Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhe thantam. Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhe thantam. Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhe thantam. Please be aware of your mind and behavior for these 15 minutes. By practicing loving kindness meditation and mindfulness, you can spend this break mindfully and wisely. Okay. All the blessings with you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dukkhaṃ dukkha samuppadam, dukkhaṃ sacca atinkamam. Ariyaṃ caṭṭhaṃ maggam, dukkhopasamagaminam. Etaṃ ko saraṇaṃ kemam, etaṃ saraṇamuttamam, etaṃ saraṇamāgamma, sambha dukkha pamuñcatu. Dear friends in Dhamma, now we are coming to the next session of the program, and here we especially hope to discuss the Four Noble Truths in Buddhism. After Buddha attained enlightenment, in his first sermon, he explained the main topic in Buddhism, which is the Four Noble Truths. Dukkha Satya, the noble truth of suffering; Samudaya Satya, the noble truth of the origin of suffering; Nirodha Satya, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering; Magga Satya, the noble truth of the path that leads to getting rid of suffering. These are the Four Noble Truths. We usually think that this is very easy to understand, but we should be very careful. There are a lot of teachings we can say about these Four Noble Truths in Buddhism. Not only in Sutta Pitaka, but especially there are some very important information that we can see in Abhidhamma Pitaka, especially in Yamaka Prakarana, in Satya Yamaka. Understanding one thing leads to understand other three qualities. According to Gavampati Sutta, the discourse of Gavampati, Buddha says, if someone understands one truth, then he is able to understand other three things. Sometimes Buddha has explained Four Noble Truths. Sometimes he has explained only three things. Sometimes he has explained only two things. Sometimes Buddha has explained only one truth. It depends on the audience. When audience is very bright and gifted, Buddha has explained it shortly, in short. When audience is common, then Buddha has explained it with details. In the Yamaka Prakarana, Buddha says very important thing, understanding the noble truth of suffering. Here there is a very special sentence. Sometimes you will be surprised. Buddha says, what is the noble truth of suffering? Buddha says in Pali language, Kāyikan dukkhaṃ cetasikan dukkhaṃ tapetva avasesam dukkha satyam. What is the noble truth of suffering? Is there anything without physical pain and mental pain? That is the noble truth of suffering. Buddha says, is there anything without physical pain and mental pain? That is the noble truth of suffering. You know, ordinary people are unable to think about it. Why is that? We usually think we have only physical pain and mental pain. But Buddha says dukkha satya is actually different. Buddha says the noble truth of suffering is that if we have something except physical pain and mental pain, that is the noble truth of suffering. This is the place where we should be wise. This is the place where we should be mindful. This is the place where we can see our wisdom. This is the place where we can see our fortune. Here it is very important to understand the noble truth of suffering. Now I am going to explain it. When we see something, when we hear something, when we smell something, when we taste something, when we touch something, when we think something, very first experience, the very first experience is it is not karma. It is not kusala or akusala. It is just the vipaka or result. Our I is a result of our previous karma. Not only previous lives, previous time. The forms are the result of our karma. Eye contact, eye consciousness, these are the result of our karma. But that very first experience is very instant. When we are ignorant, the very first experience is, then we create new karma because of our avidya, avidya paccaya sankhara. When we are ignorant, mental formations arise. When mental formations, then consciousness with ignorance arise. Then until jara marana or suffering, we go forward. This is the nature of the human life who are ignorant, who has delusion. When we experience something, very first experience is the noble truth of suffering. It is not a physical pain or mental pain. It is just a karmic vipaka, karmic result. The very first thing, the first noble truth, we should not give up it. We should not overcome it. We should not reduce it. Buddha says, Dukkha Satchang Parinyayam. The noble truth of suffering should be realized. Even Arahants are unable to overcome the very first experience. That is just a vipaka, that is just a result. But we are unable to depend on the result. The result is very instant. It arises and ceases at the moment. When we recognize it, the very first experience has already ceased. We understand the first experience after it has ceased in the present moment. When we recognize our I consciousness forms, we understand it through our mind consciousness. When we reflect on it, I is impermanent, forms are impermanent, I contact is impermanent, I consciousness is impermanent. Actually, everything is in the past. When we understand, when we reflect on, then we are able to recognize it. We always practice insight meditation about past experience. But we are mindful. We know very well we practice this realistically at the moment. But we know very well we reflect on something which happened in the past. But we should live in the present moment. Our practice is like a flashlight. When we focus a flashlight somewhere, the handle is in our hand. But we can focus everywhere, keeping the torch in our hand. We never throw the torch. We always keep it in our hand. But we can focus everywhere the torch. Our mind also like that. We should live in the present moment. We are aware of that now I am in the present moment. But when we recognize something, when some forms come to our mind, we suddenly understand that I understand something which has already ceased. That I is impermanent, forms are impermanent, I contact is impermanent, I consciousness is impermanent. Ear is impermanent, sounds are impermanent, ear contact is impermanent, ear consciousness is impermanent. Everything is impermanent. Nose is impermanent, smell is impermanent, nose consciousness is impermanent. Tongue is impermanent, taste is impermanent, tongue consciousness is impermanent. Body is impermanent, contact is impermanent, body consciousness is impermanent. We always reflect on which is happened already in the past. But we know very well about the present moment. When we understand the karmic result, then we can realize it. We are able to realize the noble truth of suffering. When we realize the noble truth of suffering, then we can understand the noble truth of the origin of suffering. What is the origin of suffering? The origin of suffering is that the attachment. Attachment happens in our mind. We usually think that attachment comes from outside. But the Buddha says very clearly, Nate kama yani chitrani loke sankapparago purisasa kamo. The beautiful things are not lustful. Lust arises in our mind according to our ignorance or delusion. When we are ignorant, lust, desire, greed, or covetousness arise in our mind. Because of ignorance. What is the ignorance? We don't know that the first experience has already ceased. That is why the desire or greed arises in our mind. the noble truth of the origin of suffering, the attachment, Nandiraga. The desire arises in our mind. The cause of suffering is that the nearest reason of suffering is that desire or attachment. It arises in our mind. The background is that ignorance or delusion. The next one is that the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. The cessation of the noble truth of suffering. The noble truth of the cessation of suffering. What is that? Not to do any evil or getting rid of suffering. How do we do it? Reducing desire completely. How do we overcome greed completely? Sometimes you may think that if I don't have attachment to something, then we are able to overcome attachment. Even though Buddha has explained the reason, the cause of suffering is attachment, actually we are unable to overcome attachment without a vision. When we see the reality, when we have wisdom, that is the way how we overcome attachment. For that, Buddha has explained the path, the noble truth of the path that leads to getting rid of suffering. What is that? The Noble Eightfold Path. In short, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Sila means discipline or virtue in our body and speech. Then we practice these three disciplines. First of all, we have discipline in our speech and behavior, but we should have vision what we practice. Buddha says, Dittincha anupagamma silava dassanena sampanno. We should have virtue or moral conduct with a vision. What is the vision? Vision means samadhi. What is the samadhi? We should have clear understanding the destination, about the destination. What is the destination? Not to attach to anything or anyone outside or even inside. Wherever our mind is fixed, it means we are in suffering, we are in ignorance, we are in the samsaric circle. Our final destination, our final goal is to overcome suffering completely. Then we have to overcome the attachment to the forms and to even our mind. For that, in one side, we should understand the forms has already ceased, and also we should realize the mind that I think this view also impermanent, this present moment, the present mind also arises and ceases at the moment. If we are able to understand these two backgrounds in the same time, then our mind is not fixed anything or anyone in outside or even inside. Seeing this reality, we practice sila or virtue. By seeing this reality, we practice concentration. By seeing this reality, we practice wisdom or panya. Whatever we do in our day-to-day life, we have this understanding, vision. Even you practice generosity, your final goal is to achieve this reality. Even though you take care of your parents, even though you do a job, even though you eat something, even though you play, actually you do everything. Imagine this reality in your mind. Why is that? We have saddha or confidence. Buddha says, saddhati tathagatassa bodhin. This is the place where we are confident in. We should understand the message, and also we should have confidence in what we practice. This is the real faith or confidence or saddha. We usually have the saddha, seeing the qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Actually, that is the amulika saddha. That is the very primary level saddha. It is without roots. It is not very strong. Our strong saddha or confidence arises when we see this reality. What is the reality? Reality is the understanding of the Four Noble Truths. What is the first truth? The very first experience that we receive as the result of our previous actions, that is neither pleasant nor unpleasant, that is neutral. When we think something is painful or happy, actually we recognize it not through our eye consciousness, but through our mind consciousness. That is created by ourselves according to our vision, according to our understanding. But the very first experience is neutral. When we have this understanding, we realize the first noble truth, the noble truth of suffering. Then the second noble truth, the noble truth of the origin of suffering, the samudaya satya, should be overcome. Samudaya satyam pahatabang, that should be overcome. And also nirodha satyam satchikatabang, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering should be achieved. And also the magga satyam bhavetabang, the noble truth of the path that leads to getting rid of suffering should be practiced. What is the practice? Practice is the noble eightfold path or the three disciplines, sila, samadhi, panya. When we understand the Four Noble Truths, we understand the dependent origination. When this is, this happens. When this is not, this doesn't happen. When we understand the Patisampada or the dependent origination, we understand the five aggregates or the five groups of existence. What is the five groups of existence? Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. Rupa means forms, Vedana, feelings, Sanya, perceptions, Sankhara, mental formations, and Vijnana, consciousness. These five things, in the first experience, they are neutral. They are neither pleasant nor unpleasant. If we are ignorant, these five groups of existence comes to the clinging of five existence, which is the five aggregates. We always live in the five aggregates with the clinging. When we are ignorant, we are going to cling in with these five aggregates. That is the new karma, new actions that arises because of our ignorance. Then we are in the samsaric circle. Avidya paccaya sankhara, mental formations, the new mental formations arises because of our ignorance or delusion. If we are wise and mindful, suddenly we go to the new path. Avidyāyatveva asesa viraga nirodha sankhara nirodho. Reducing ignorance completely, we are able to overcome new karmas, mental formations. That says in Buddhism in a very special word that Atti bhikkhave kammang akanna sukhang akanna sukha vipākang kammakkayāya samvattati. There are some actions which cause neither white nor black results, which helps us to reduce the karma completely. It helps us to overcome the samsaric circle. This is the main karma that Buddha has explained. There are some karmas like black or white. Black means apunyābhi sankhara, or evil karmas, evil actions. And white karmas. White karma means punyabhi sankhara, meritorious deeds. And also anenjabhi sankhara. There are some sanskaras which cause us to be reborn in the formless world. These three things, which are apunyabhi sankhara, or punyabhi sankhara, or anenjabhi sankhara, they arise because of ignorance, avidya paccaya sankhara. If we have this vision with wisdom, with mindfulness at the present moment, when we look at something, we can understand my eye has already ceased, these forms have already ceased, eye consciousness also have ceased. The mind that I am looking at the moment is impermanent. Then we see the world like the empty village. Buddha says it as sunyo gamo avekasu. Sunyo gamo, the empty village. He doesn't take anything as permanent, as me, as myself. This is the place where we should be confident that Buddha says, Saddhati Tathagatassa bodhing. Confidence in what the Buddha realized. That is why Buddha says, Yo Dhammam passati somam passati. He who sees the Dhamma sees me. Yo mam passati so Dhammam passati. He who sees the Dhamma sees me. Finally, Buddha says, Yo patisampadam passati so Dhammam passati. Yo Dhammam passati so patisampadam passati. He who sees the dependent origination sees the Dhamma. He who sees the Dhamma sees the dependent origination. Finally, our understanding depends on the understanding of the dependent origination. What is that? Our first experience is neutral. That is the noble truth of suffering. If we realize the first noble truth, then we are able to overcome the attachment, the origin of suffering. Then we understand the path that leads to getting rid of suffering is that practicing virtue, concentration, and wisdom. Here, first of all, we should have discipline in our speech and behavior. Always we protect our words and behavior. Whatever we do, whatever we speak, we think again and again whether it is correct. We always behave and speak mindfully. Not only that, we always keep our mind in a particular wholesome object. We practice concentration meditation technique. We make a Brahmarelam in this human world. Buddhism has explained 40 meditation techniques as concentration meditation techniques. Then we practice some meditation techniques as we are interested in. The very beginning, as I mentioned before, we can practice loving kindness meditation. And finally, we can practice breathing meditation. Buddha says very clearly, when someone practices only one thing, he can develop 4 things. When he develops 4 things, he can develop other 7 things. When he develops 7 things, he can achieve 2 things. What is the one thing that he can practice? Practice in breathing meditation, anapanasati. With the understanding of the Four Noble Truths, if we practice mindfulness with breathing meditation, when we practice breathing meditation, fourfold mindfulness increases. When fourfold mindfulness increase, the 7 enlightenment factors, satta bojjhanga, gradually increase. When 7 enlightenment factors increase, we can achieve the knowledge and liberation, Vidya Vimukti. Vimukti means we can liberate from greed, anger, and delusion. When we see the reality, we have no attachment to anyone or anything. Then we have no even anger. And also, then we have overcome ignorance completely. This is the path that Buddha explained. And also, with this understanding, little by little, we should practice this path. Especially, we have to practice fourfold mindfulnesses. The contemplation of our body, the contemplation of feelings, the contemplation of mental formations, and the contemplation of consciousness. Now, we are going to practice mindfulness. For that, we use a meditation technique which is Anapanasati, breathing meditation. Okay, now I think you have some kind of understanding about the Four Noble Truths. The first Noble Truth is that the very first experience, which is neither pleasant nor unpleasant, that is just a vipaka or result of our previous actions. We should realize the first Noble Truth. And also, we should overcome the origin of suffering, the attachment. And also, the cessation of suffering should be achieved. And also, the Noble Eightfold Path should be practiced. These are the four things that we have to do. If you have this understanding, this is the confidence. Actually, if we have this confidence, that confidence or saddha comes to our life, it comes to our inside throughout our skin and muscles, skeleton, it comes to the entire life. Then we have energy. We are energetic people. Why is that? We are hurried to get the result. Why is that? If we don't have this achievement, result, we have to suffer about a lot of things in our day-to-day life. When we are going to old age, sicknesses, death, and separations, every moment we are suffering because of this ignorance. If we can practice and get the results in this immediate life, then we can overcome these sufferings in this immediate life. Before we die, that is the very interesting thing. The other religious people, they explain their liberation after they die, but the Supreme Buddha explains the liberation before we die. If we have this understanding this moment, at the moment we are able to overcome all the sufferings, sorrow, lamentation, death, decay, everything we can overcome. Our body is going to old age, but we can overcome the suffering of decay. Our physical body is going to sicknesses. We are subject to get sick, but we have overcome the suffering of sickness. We are subject to die, but we have overcome the suffering of death. That is the very interesting thing. The reason is that we don't take our body as me, as myself. After we have this understanding. This is the truth that Buddha has explained. This is the place where I should be confident in. When we have this confidence, we have energy, and also we come to the sati or mindfulness. We always live in mindfulness. We are aware of our body. We are aware of our feelings. We are aware of our consciousness. We are aware of our mental formations, our thoughts. At the beginning, we are aware of our body, practicing breathing meditation in and out. When we reflect on impermanence with breathing meditation, when we are mindful in breathing in and out, we understand that this breathing is a result of our body. This body is a result of food that we have taken. When food arises, this body arises. When this body arises, breathing arises. This breathing is not a particular person. This is one of the results of some reasons or causes. When causes cease, this result also ceases. Then we don't take this breathing as my, as me, as myself. And also when we reflect on feelings, the contemplation of feelings, when we have painful feelings, we understand now I have painful feelings. But the reason of these feelings is the contact. When contact happens, when there is contact, we have these feelings. When contact ceases, the feeling ceases. Then we don't take these feelings as me, as my, as myself. When we see the causes of feelings, these feelings are impermanent. These feelings depend on some reasons, some causes. And also, we are contemplating on our consciousness or mind. When mind is greedy, we understand now my mind is greedy. When my mind is ungreedy, we understand now my mind has no greed. When my mind is angry, we understand now my mind is angry. When mind is without anger, we understand now my mind has no anger. When my mind is ignorant, we understand now my mind is ignorant. When mind has no ignorance, we understand now my mind has no ignorance. When mind is not liberated, we understand now my mind is not liberated. When my mind is liberated from ignorance, we understand now my mind has liberated from ignorance. Then we always look at my mind. Then we are aware of our consciousness. When we are mindful in our consciousness, mind has no chance to keep negative thoughts, even positive thoughts. Then it comes to the wisdom, reflecting on impermanence. Then it comes to liberation. Mind has liberated from everything, even physical, not only physical but even mental. We don't take even my mind as permanent. That mind also every moment arises and ceases. This mind also not me, not mine, not myself. That is the contemplating non-consciousness. Then contemplating non-mental formations. Dhammanupassana. In the Dhammanupassana, we contemplate on mental formations or our negative and positive thoughts. When our mind has 5 hindrances, we understand now my mind has sensual pleasure, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worries, skeptical doubts. We recognize now I have these negative thoughts in my mind. Then we know the way how we overcome these negative thoughts from my mind. And also when we have positive thoughts, the 7 enlightenment factors, we understand now my mind has Satta Bojjhanga, Sati Sambojjhanga, Dhamma Vijaya Sambojjhanga, Virya Sambojjhanga, or Piti Sambojjhanga, Passadi Sambojjhanga, Samadhi Upekha. When my mind has these 7 enlightenment factors, little by little I increase these qualities in my mind. Finally, we realize the Four Noble Truths again as the result of practicing Dhammanupassana. We started this spiritual path understanding the Four Noble Truths, listening to Dhamma in the first step of the Noble Eightfold Path, Sammaditthi. The interesting thing, see here, we end our spiritual journey realizing the Four Noble Truths, end of the practice in the Dhammanupassana. First we have the Suttamaya Jnana, the knowledge of listening. But here we have the Bhavanamaya Jnana, the knowledge of meditation. As the result of practicing mindfulness, the Fourfold Mindfulness, end of the practice we realize the Four Noble Truths again. Now we are going to practice mindfulness in short. I invite you to come to practice this path. We explained the Buddha's message in short. As we have time in the future, again and again, we like to discuss this message. And also, if you are interested in this message, you can listen to it, this record later. And also, you can practice this path in your day-to-day life, and you can see the visible results, immediately effectiveness in the Dhamma, what the Buddha taught. Okay, dear friends in Dhamma, please get ready for meditation, sit in meditation. And especially we practice here breathe in meditation using the Fourfold Mindfulnesses. Okay, please get ready for sitting meditation. Relax your body, please. Prepare your body for meditation. And keep your right hand on the left hand. Close your eyes gently. Be aware of your body posture from your legs to head and from your head to legs. Now you can keep your attention around the nose or upper lip. It says in Buddhism, Parimukhang Satinupatapetva. Keeping our attention near the mouth or near the nose or upper lip. And keeping our attention around the nose or upper lip at the present moment. Now I am going to practice breathe in meditation. Ānāpānasati bhavana. Please take a deep breath in, hold a second, and breathe out. Once again, Please take a deep breath in, hold a second, breathe out. Okay, after that I am taking my natural breathing in and out and practice mindfulness with breathing in and out. I keep my attention in the present moment around the nose to upper lip. When I breathe in, I know that I am breathing in. When I breathe out, I know that I am breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I completely keep my attention in the present moment. I am mindful in breathing in and out. I am aware of my very natural breathing in and out. Breathing in, breathing out. When I breathe in alone, I know that I am breathing in alone. When I breathe out alone, I know that I am breathing out alone. When I breathe in short, I know that I am breathing in short. When I breathe out short, I understand that I am breathing out short. Understanding long and short breathing, I am breathing in and out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am breathing in sensitive to the entire breathing body. I am breathing out, sensitive to the entire breathing body. I am breathing in, calming the entire breathing body. I am breathing out, calming the entire breathing body. I have a clear understanding now, breathing in and out. I am fully aware of my breathing in and out, very natural breathing. This breathing in and out is one of the parts of my body. This body is a result of food that I have taken. Ahara samudayo, rupa samudayo. Ahara nirodha, rupa nirodho. This body arises because of food. When food ceases, this body also ceases and breathing also ceases. This breathing in and out, not a particular person. It is just a result of some reasons. This breathing is not me, not mine, not myself. This body also a result of food that I have taken. As the result of ceasing of food, this body also ceases. This physical body is a result of some reasons. This is not me, this is not mine, this is not myself. I see the arising and ceasing of this body. Furthermore, I am breathing in and out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am breathing in, sensitive to rapture. I am breathing out, sensitive to rapture. I am breathing in, sensitive to pleasure. I am breathing out, sensitive to pleasure. I am breathing in, sensitive to mental fabrication. I am breathing out, sensitive to mental fabrication. I am breathing in, calming mental fabrication. I am breathing out, calming mental fabrication. The feelings that I see at the moment arises and ceases. These feelings arise because of contact. When contact is, the feelings are here. When contact ceases, then feelings also cease. These feelings are not a particular person. These feelings are the results of contact. These feelings are not a particular permanent person. These feelings are not mine, not me, not myself. It arises and ceases every moment. These feelings are impermanent. Furthermore, I am breathing in and out, keeping my attention in the present moment around the nose or upper lip. I am breathing in, sensitive to the mind. I am breathing out, sensitive to the mind. I am breathing in, satisfying the mind. I am breathing out, satisfying the mind. I am breathing in, steadying the mind. I am breathing out, steadying the mind. I am breathing in, release in the mind. I am breathing out, release in the mind. My mind always arises and ceases. This mind is a result of mentality and corporeality. Nama rupa paccaya viññānaṁ, nama rupa nirodha viññāna nirodho. This mind always arises and ceases. The mind arises and ceases because of mentality and corporeality. This mind is not a particular person. It is not mine. It is not me. It is not myself. I see the arising and ceasing of my mind every moment. Furthermore, I am breathing in and out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am breathing in, focusing on impermanence. I am breathing out, focusing on impermanence. I am breathing in, focusing on dispassion. I am breathing out, focusing on dispassion. I am breathing in, focusing on cessation. I am breathing out, focusing on cessation. I am breathing in, focusing on relinquishment. I am breathing out, focusing on relinquishment. I am breathing in, focusing on relinquishment. I am breathing out, focusing on relinquishment. Patinissagganupasse assa sissamiti viharati. Passa sissamiti viharati. Mental formations every moment arise and cease. They arise because of contact. mind and mental formations are together, these mental formations arise. Senses and objects are together, mental formations arise. When they cease, the mental formations also cease at the moment. These mental formations are the result of some reasons. These mental formations are impermanent. They are not mine, they are not me, they are not myself. They arise and cease. My entire life is the five aggregates. Every moment the five aggregates arise and cease. These five aggregates, so clinging to five aggregates, arise because of the ignorance or delusion. The clinging to five aggregates arise because of the foundation of the four groups of existence: Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. These five groups of existence every moment arise and cease as the result of my previous karmas. The five groups of existence are just a result of my actions. They are not neither pleasant nor unpleasant. I see this reality with wisdom. I reflect on them as impermanent, as dissatisfactory, as not myself. Sabbe sankhara anicchati yada paññāya pansati ata nibbindati dukkhe esa maggo visuddhiyā. All conditioned things are impermanent. He who sees this reality with wisdom overcomes suffering. This is the path to purity. Sabbe sankhara dukkhaති yada paññāya pansati ata nibbindati dukkhe esa maggo visuddhiyā. All conditioned things are dissatisfactory or suffering. He who sees this reality with wisdom overcomes suffering. This is the path to purity. Sabbe Dhamma anattati Yada paññāya pansati atanimbindati dukken esa maggo visundhiya. All phenomena are selfless. He who sees this really with wisdom overcomes suffering. This is the path to purity. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Friends in Dhamma, today we discuss the Sammaditthi or right understanding. With the association of good friends, we listen to Dhamma. When we listen to Dhamma, we develop our right understanding of Sammaditthi. The first step of Sammaditthi is that understanding the karmic law. Whatever we do with intention, we will have the same results according to our mental condition. Then, with this understanding, we overcome evils and we practice good deeds. Especially, we practice 3 meritorious deeds: generosity, virtue, and meditation, or loving kindness meditation in our day-to-day life. And we develop our spirituality day by day. Practicing these qualities, we can receive some benefits, results in this life: longevity, good complexion, health, and especially good association. Having these results, we go to the next level, understanding the dependent origination or causality or cause and effect in Buddhism, which is the heart of Buddhism. With this understanding, we realize the 4 noble truths. The noble truth of suffering, the very first experience of the groups of 5 existence. Then we understand the noble truth of the origin of suffering. Then we understand the cessation of suffering, and we understand the noble truth of the path that leads to getting rid of suffering. With this understanding, we have clear understanding about the fourfold mindfulnesses, and we always live in mindfulness. Mindfulness is our very natural place where the Supreme Buddha lives. Whenever we live in mindfulness, we have safety, refuge, security, because nobody or nothing can disturb our peace of mind. Even though we become some situations physically, physical pains, but mentally we are healthy. Among the people, those who are mentally ill, we can make a healthy mind. That is the result that we receive throughout practicing mindfulness. And day by day, we try to increase the duration of living mindfulness. Buddha advises us to live in mindfulness. Sake gochare pettike vise charata. Let's live happily in the field of the Father. Our Father, the spiritual Father, is the Supreme Buddha. Whenever we live in mindfulness, we have safety, we are near the Father. We have no disturbance, we have no problems, no sufferings at the moment. Our real success depends on getting rid of suffering. Getting rid of suffering depends on the duration of practicing mindfulness. and reflecting on impermanence. This is the real safety, liberation, emancipation, enlightenment, the everlasting happiness that the Blessed One explained. For that, I wish you all the best. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. If you have any question, you can ask. I think if you can listen to this sermon again, you yourself can solve all the questions in this sermon, I think. If we can understand in clearly Buddha's message, the Four Noble Truths, then all questions are automatically solved. The path is very clear. When the path is clear, we can make a refuge by ourselves. That is why Buddha says, Atta Deepa Bhikkhave Viharatta Saranana Anya Sarana. Dwell with yourself as an island, as a refuge, as a light with no other refuge. Dhamma Deepa Bhikkhave Viharatta Dhamma Saranana Anya Sarana. Dwell with the Dhamma as a refuge, as an island with no other refuge. Having a refuge is like living in mindfulness. Okay, thank you for your good attention and participation. I really appreciate your participation in this program. I invite you to come to next program too, as we are free. We will meet soon. And by the power of all these spiritual energies, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May your all righteous wishes meet with success. Finally, all of us attain the final bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dukkham pantāca nirdukkhaṃ, bhayam pantāca nirbhayam, sokam pantāca nissokam, hontu sabbe pipānino. Ākāsattā ca bhummattā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā ciraṃ rakkantu sāsanam. Ākāsattā ca bhummattā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā ciraṃ rakkantu desanam. Ākāsattā ca bhummattā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā ciraṃ rakkantu tvaṃ sadā. Idamme ñātenaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātenaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātenaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Abhivādana sīlissa niccang vundhāpachāyino. Cattāro dhammā vaddhanti āyuvanno sukhang balam. Āyurārogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevaca. Ato nibbāna sampatti imenāte samejjatu. May the triple gem bless you.